These are our investors. Daniel Arterton, an experienced business consultant and farmer at the Nevis Hydro Gardens. Cashman Hope, an energetic business sales manager at the Cable. Giselle Matthews, a pioneer in her own right and the owner and managing director of the Harper's Business Depot. Amir Sabnani, the no-nonsense general manager of Rams Trading Limited.
I am Cheryl Ann Pemberton, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Entrepreneurship, Entertainment, Talent Development, and ICT. The Ministry of Entrepreneurship, Entertainment, and Talent Development is also known by the acronym MOENT. The Ministry of Entrepreneurship, Entertainment, and Talent Development was mandated to transform the creative, entertainment, and innovative industries in St. Kitts and Nevis. Our aims and objectives are to monetize the talent of the creatives, empower young people to pursue their craft, to provide that enabling environment so that they can flourish. We all are aware that St. Kitts is full of talent, mind-blowing talent. But in most cases, they do not have the opportunity to expose that talent. And that is why this ministry was developed, to provide that opportunity to expose them, not only locally and regionally, but also internationally. So Let's Do This is quite an exciting project for us. It was during the COVID period that Let's Do This was conceptualized. I remember very early in the first quarter in 2021, I was told of a new studio that was just setting up, Studio327, and I was told that I should meet the managing director, who is Mistress Gardenia Destin Richardson. And so we met, I think it was in March 2021, and we sat down and started discussing. She gave me the background of Studio327 and the intention to, she explained to me that it's a television and film production company that wanted to enhance that product in St. Kitts and Nevis. And then I also shared with her the vision for the ministry and what we hope to do for young people. And I got really excited because during the conversation, I recognized that there was a great opportunity for synergy. In speaking to the creatives, we would have gathered that they did not want to just sit in workshops. They didn't feel that they would be more benefiting from the workshops. And so this show really came up after brainstorming and determining how do we address those critical areas. We are trying to professionalize the industry, but at the same time, we have to also professionalize the artists and bring that whole proper business framework to the fore, because we've seen two successful participants who were able to get investments from the investors, and they're Enoite Inanga, whose product is digitization of children's arts, and Anastasia Elliott, who manufactures organic products for skin care, hair care, and condiments as well.
My name is Daniel Arterton, and I was born here in Nevis, and I am from a farm family. I ended up doing both agriculture and business. I retired from the central bank in 2019 after working there for 14 years. So now I spend time on my farm and I spend time doing social services and consulting. All I can say to you is that all I wanted to grow up to be is a farmer, and I'm here now. And I'm hoping that I can make an impact on food security and food and nutrition. I grew up with my grandmother in Gingerland, and she used to be working on the New River estate. She was one of the laborers who planted the cotton seeds, weeded the cotton, harvested the cotton. My father, on the other hand, he had 14 acres of a more organized farming in the water catchment area. Anything you wanted, my father had those. It's pretty much rounded in where I came from, and then I studied agriculture when I got a chance to. And so I'm formally trained in agriculture, agricultural economics and management. I must say that I'm honored that I was considered to be a part of the team of persons who were asked to judge those persons. I thought it was an interesting opportunity for me to point out to persons who were making the pitch what were the areas of their strengths in their projects that they were presenting, and if I saw any areas where some suggestions I can offer can be of help to them so that they can be in a better position should they be in another place at another time. Come a little closer, I show you the excitement of farming. This is it here. Farming is a faith profession, and the important thing is patience. You must have patience or you can't be a farmer. You must have tolerance, because for example, the shortest crop, say something like cucumbers or beans, which are 6 weeks. You put that seed in the ground, and then once it's in the ground, you see it germinate, and then you've got to cultivate it, keep it clean and protected from pests, diseases. You have to nourish it to make sure that it's its best, the plant is in its best shape. It's well nourished, it's well watered, it has adequate sunlight, and it's not prone to diseases. All of these elements unseen elements that went together to give you something that you can see, something that you can feel, something you can taste. I think that mystery of transformation of elements into a food is what I marvel most about agriculture. I was very instrumental in building the marketing unit, the actual building. I got funds from CEDA and was able to construct a 2-story building where we actually service the farmers. I would say that my involvement with business development and private sector is well known across the region in the countries that I've worked in. Most of the companies across the OECS, through the Small Medium Enterprise Project of USAID, that gave me a real insight into how small business, micro and small and medium enterprises work across the region.
My name is Amir Sabnani. I'm 32 years old. I have 2 children, 1 boy, 1 girl. I'm married. I have quite a large family. I've been working in, I would say, general business industry since I was about maybe 14 years old. I took a liking for business. The first business actually that I opened was called the Beading Committee, where I basically had my sisters in a room with air condition on, and we bought fishing line and beads, and we were making custom made beaded jewelry to sell by order to our parents' friends. And then we decided we would expand our empire, and we opened a lemonade stand outside our house, and they would have to bear the hot sun, and I would make the lemonade for them to sell. When I graduated, I still had a knack for doing business, so I went to Trinidad, and the first business I started was actually in food vending. I had hot dog vending carts on the streets outside in high traffic popular areas, and I really decided that wasn't for me when one night outside a party, one of the guys took the hot sauce condiment, sprayed it all over me in my eyes, and I decided that probably selling the hot dog carts was the right move and easier than actually selling hot dogs. So I sold those hot dog carts. Trinidad was a great place for food and food culture. I ended up meeting my wife there, and I think that was the highlight of my time in Trinidad. But that got me thinking about food and food vending, and when I finished in Trinidad, I went to work in St. Martin, continuing in food and beverage, and I managed a food and beverage operation there which had 6 grocery stores for about 2 years before coming home after my grandfather's passing. When I returned back to St. Kitts to work where I am here now at Rams Trading Limited and Rams Nevis Limited, and by extension Rams Group of Companies. But that love for food and food culture never left me, so I do various things. One is which food courts that we have around here. That was kind of took birth in my hot dog vending career, and I brought that out here. We have a few food courts in St. Kitts now. Self-storage, which I thought was a cool concept that we needed, which is kind of individual self-storage lockers. And I dabble a bit in real estate. I enjoy construction. One of my real passion is construction and development. I love building things. I have since I was a kid. Lego was my favorite toy. Playing with Tonka trucks and construction equipment. One thing I like about my job, it's creating new spaces, creating new environments, which ties back into construction and development. I love seeing processes and people at work. I love putting together things and seeing it come to fruition. So when I say construction, I don't only mean like physical construction, blocks, concrete, mortar, but also the construction of processes and businesses. I really enjoy that challenge. I can say this now kind of in retrospect. I see that we have a lot of raw talent. It's great to have an idea, but unless you have guidance and mentorship for how to turn that into a business, it kind of goes nowhere. And it's just that, a dream or a passion. I've tried and failed at different things, and I think I've learned some important lessons along the way that I could at least help some other younger people to put some of those practices I've learned into play. So I thought I could maybe be helpful there. The only way that a lot of these things actually take off is through private investment. And so it's important for us as a business community and as a company interested in being community minded to take part in these sort of things. So that's kind of why I took the time to do it.
I'm Giselle Matthews, the Managing Director of Harper's Office Depot and the more recent past president of the Chamber of Commerce. I was the first female president of the Chamber in 2020. I still maintain a role on the board as the executive committee. My predominant daily role is running this business, Harper's Office Depot, which we established in St. Kitts in 2007. So we're just having this year is our 15th year of business on St. Kitts. So I was fortunate enough to be raised in a family with my siblings and my mother and father. I have 3 brothers. I'm the youngest of a family of 8, really. And my father raised his first set of children, which is unusual for that in that day and age. He had a big part to play with their lives. And so he was very much a hands-on family man. Took a lot of control of his children, maybe too much some might say, but tried to give us a direction in life. And he was very strict. He was very firm. You know, he came from the old school, obviously. He never went to university like we did. He wanted to make sure that we had that opportunity that he didn't have. And so further education for him was really important for us. I went off to Canada to do boarding school there for 3 years. I got my Ontario High School honorary diploma and onto the business at University of Western Ontario in London, Ontario, Canada. So I approached my a longtime friend who had attended university in Canada, who was Antiguan, and he had Harper's in Antigua. And I approached him and said, you know, why don't you come to St. Kitts? And he said, why? I said, because I think we need it. I think we need a store that, you know, we can get supplies. And then I went to Antigua and I saw his store. I thought, oh, okay, maybe we should talk. And so within 6 months of the conversation, he's a let's do it kind of guy, Nike, you know, let's do it. And he was like, okay, you on board? I'm like, well, I guess so. Yeah, and it just happened really, you know, obviously, well, all the red tape and finding the location and my family business in town, my grandmother's building that was now my cousin's was locked up at Walls on the corner of 4th and Princess Street, right on the corner opposite Scotiabank, what was, well, now Republic Bank. That was vacant, came vacant. And I saw it closed for months and I called my aunt and I said, is anyone renting, anybody inquiring? And she said, yeah, we have lots of inquiries. I said, well, being family, do you think that maybe you could hold out for me and let me get back to you? You know, if I pursue this? And she said, yeah. And so we just got the ball rolling and I decided if I thought about it way too much, I probably wouldn't do it. So just, let's do it. And that's kind of how Harper's was born in St. Kitts. And 15 years later, we're here. A few years into business, we quickly realized that there was a great demand from the public. And you get to a point in business where you have to decide if you're going to deliver to your customers or you're just going to take the easy route out and sort of, you're doing well, you're doing all right, it's paying its bills and making some profit, that's enough, I'm done. But I'm not that type of person. And the store that we had was, we outgrew it. We were outgrowing it, you know, because we realized that the consumer was demanding so much of us, asking us for more stuff. You know, why don't you carry this? Why don't you carry that? We needed to have our own space. We needed to invest in our business ourselves, meaning we needed to buy a property. As a business, if you don't own equity, you're not really gonna grow. The bank is not gonna look at you very seriously, not seriously, but favorably. And I started to put my eyes up in the industrial side. But some people at that point thought I was mad. I had friends who told me, "You're crazy. I don't know what you're doing." And I said, well, you know, I feel like it's gonna grow, it's gonna develop, it's gonna commercialize one day, and I'm gonna go in early. 2010, we managed to purchase the building and go through the red tape and get it settled. And we opened in May of 2015, I want to tell you, hope my dates are correct. Yeah, when we opened the second location here, which was great because it was now ours and our investment. But my view is if these small and micro businesses can get established and they can find their way, we have a lot of talent in St. Kitts, we have a lot of good ideas. I think we're really, really blessed. I don't even know if we realize, but we're seeing a lot of it come about now. If they're given the necessary support, mentally, mentorship, financial support, networking, whatever. My thinking is, and the support through government funding, easy funds, easy loans. It's so difficult to get capital. You know, I was very privileged, right? I had my father who was willing to help me, to back me up, or to secure a loan. Some people don't have that, and if they don't have that, then how are they gonna invest in the business? Or so if it doesn't come from there, then it has to come from an institution. It gotta come from somewhere else. And then teaching how to manage that. How do you manage your business now?
My name is Cashmin Thompson Hope. I'm a mother of two boys, that is, one who is 2 years and the other is 14. I'm the business sales manager at the cable, and I'm also the co-founder of Hope Economics. I was fortunate enough to grow up in St. Paul's Village. It's a village that's very proud of its people. You can tell from football alone that we are very proud people. But it's a community that's very supportive, and that's what I really like and feel blessed to be a part of the St. Paul's community. My mom she is self-employed. She has her own business, and she was also a single parent. So basically, it was a case where it took a village to raise a child in that scenario, because everybody chipped in. When you needed support, they were there. When you needed assistance with anything, they were there. When you needed, a little bit of sugar because you run out of sugar, you can just run to the neighbor. So I believe because of her choice of being an entrepreneur, it basically pushed all of our kids to be entrepreneurs as well. We are very much independent. My day starts with me negotiating with a toddler. So I start negotiation. I do a lot of negotiations throughout my day, but it starts at home with my toddler. Everything is no at this point in time. So no school, no bath, no food. He just wants to sleep longer. Parenting has its challenges. Most of the time I have to do a lot on my own. It's difficult balancing work life and family life, and also for me to get my own space and time. But I wouldn't change it for the world. I'm very comfortable in my space. Okay. After the kids are asleep, that's when my job at Hope Economics starts. So basically I use the opportunity to contact my clients, some of which are overseas. So the time difference, we are sometimes, it's the evening time for me, but for them it may be earlier. So it's not too bad for them. For me, sometimes I'm lacking a little bit of sleep, but you know, you have to put in the work to get where you want to get. I started working when I was just 15, and this is outside of my mother's bar, because you know, once your mom has a shop, you know, when you come home from school, you have to do something. So she would take the opportunity to say, okay, I want to take a little break. So I have to hold on for a little bit, you know, somebody coming to buy a sardine or being a sausage or a pound of sugar, then, you know, I would attend to that so that she can get a little break. And then, you know, I have to go into the homework, the chores. So if you realize, we were very much disciplined in my household. Hence the reason why it is so easy for me to do what I'm doing now, even though I have a family to take care of and I have a full-time job. It still doesn't take away from my responsibilities at Hope Economics. Hope Economics was founded out of a passion. Both Kevin and I are children of entrepreneurs. His dad is a contractor in St. Vincent, and I think once upon a time he also owned a hardware store. So considering that we've been assisting them over the years, we've decided, hey, let's branch out because we have so much to offer to our business community. You know, Kevin is an economist, a debt specialist. He has a wealth of experience considering he has worked at Central Bank, CDB, and other, you know, reputable institutions. And for me, you know, I've always been in the business space, well, at least 10 years, you know, so I've always been in the corporate space. So because of that, I have a wealth of experience. I'm hoping that through my involvement with Let's Do This, I'm able to collaborate with a business, help them to the molding stage, help them to grow, because that's what Hope Economics is really here for, you know, to help businesses see their full potential and to meet their full potential as well. At this stage, I'm most passionate about construction. Creating stuff, yes. I mean it's completely different to what I'm doing at this stage, but I've been dabbling a lot in real estate, construction, because I've built recently, and I mean it's like you know, fireworks, like it's just so fun, and I really want to dedicate more time there. So, you know.
The ministry was really proud to be working with such a young company, especially because of what the purpose of the ministry, and it was a great opportunity for us to work with Studio327. They are also, the head of the organization is also an entrepreneur and a female, I might add. And so it has really been a great pleasure all around. She has an exceptional team, and we worked well. We spent a lot of hours together. And so I would really want to say a big thank you to Mrs. Richardson and her entire team for producing this show on behalf of the ministry. I would want to take this opportunity as well to alert all of you out there that season 2 is coming, and it is going to be an improved version of season 1. I would also like to say a big thank you to a number of persons who would have made this possible. Dr. Tamu Brown of Coaching by Tamu, Loftus Bridgewater of S&L Lighting, Stephen Smith and team of Blue Torch Productions, St. Kitts Marriott Hotel, who provided the venue and a number of the materials gratis. I would also like to say thanks to the Small Business Development Unit for accommodating the ministry, who took part in the pitches where the participants, in the mock pitches, that is. Also, Mr. John James of Chameleon Media, Nigel Chukapa-Lewis, our 4 investors and the host, And last but not least, the entire staff of Moint. We are a very small staff, but has been able to achieve a lot in a very short time. I would like to say extra special thanks to Miss Leah Chatterton, who has worked tirelessly in making sure that this show became, Let's Do This, became a success. So a big thank you to all who would have cooperated and collaborated with us. See you for season 2.